Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing my predictions for the upcoming Premier League season. As always, I'm going to predict the table where each team is going to finish. So, let's get right into it. Starting from the bottom. As always, 3 teams have to go down. And you won't like me for saying it if you support those teams, but I have to pick 3 teams, and finishing in last place, I have Watford. For me, they've got some decent signings in, like Danny Rose. Is he the player he was? Remains to be seen. Ashley Fletcher, I believe he was a decent scorer in the Prem. I don't really remember when he was last in the Prem, but he was West Ham striker for a little bit, so I should remember, but I don't. And Josh King, it wasn't that long ago he was linked with some of the bigger clubs in England. Will he be able to recapture that quality? I'm not so sure. Watford are tough to call because some of their signings you don't really know. But maybe aside from Ismail Sarr, maybe Josh King, this doesn't look like a Premier League team to me, so I have them going down as the league's bottom club. However, if you are a Watford fan, you might be happy to hear who I've got finishing just above you. That is Crystal Palace, going down second bottom. Obviously, they've lost a lot of players in the summer. They still have Zaha. God knows how he's still there. And Berriese, I believe he's injured, but he might be coming back soon. Hickey Anderson is of course a good signing, but the manager here is where my concerns lie. Under Roy Hodgson, he wasn't spectacular, but he was stable. He kept them in the league season after season. Patrick Vieira is a bit of an unknown quantity. Yeah, he's a good player, for sure, but we all know that doesn't translate to being a good manager. Sorry, but I have them going down, and the last team that I have going down may be a bit of a surprise, but I have Burnley finishing in 18th. Nathan Collins seems a decent centre-back, and Wayne Hennessy is a good signing in goal, but I'm not sure that team's really improved. Whereas I think we've got some good promoted sides coming up, and I think some other teams have strengthened, whereas I'm not so sure Burnley have. And you look at Burnley, they do stay up every season, but it looks inevitable they will go down at some point, and I'm thinking it will be this season. Just staying up in 17th, I have one of the newly promoted sides in Norwich. You might say that they've lost Buendia, and they have, obviously. I'm not saying they haven't lost him, but I think some of their signings are decent. Gilmore, going to be a good midfielder. Sargent could be a good striker. Rashika, he seems decent on Football Manager. And Gibson, who's a very decent centre-half. So I think Norwich might be the team that just stays up, you know, where it goes to the final day and they get a 0-0 draw and that's enough to keep them up. That type of team, that's what I'm saying. Just above them, in 16th, I have Newcastle. They look to have signed Willock. The signing might have been confirmed by the time this is uploaded, but no real indication of any improvement in the side, though. That's the thing to me. I think they are too good to go down, and Steve Bruce is a good enough manager to keep them up. I don't see them improving, but I think other sides have gotten better, and so it's going to be a small drop off to 16th. I think they will be in the relegation battle, but they'll have more than enough to stay up. In 15th, I have a side that I underestimate quite often. That is Brighton. I think I've predicted them to go down every season they've been in the top flight, and they still haven't, so I'm not making that mistake again. You're staying up. That's what I'm saying. Because I don't know if it's called that, but Potball is working. Okay, you've lost Ben White in defence, but have faith you can cope without him. I don't know who any of your signings are, but I never do, and they always seem to turn out alright. Solid mid-table for Brighton. Might flirt with the relegation, but they're staying up. I'm saying that. I don't think there's any chance of them making like a run for Europe or anything, but they're good enough to do what they keep doing. And they do it well. 14th, I have the last of the 3 newly promoted sides in Brentford. I don't know much about their signings. Onyeka seems promising. Christopher Aria might be a decent coup from Celtic, to be fair. I'm not sure quite enough signings have been made. And so I think relegation back to the Championship is ultimately a possibility. But I do think Thomas Frank is a very good manager, and I do think that Ivan Toney is going to get a lot of goals this season. And okay, we saw with Charlie Austin at QPR about 5-6 years ago, that isn't always enough to keep you up, but I think it will be a massive help, and I think that will be enough to keep them up. In 13th, this is maybe the last position I'm thinking in the relegation battle. I have Southampton, who have obviously lost Bertrand and Ings. It could be a very long season, but I look at two of the signings they have, the signing they have made in Stuart Armstrong. He's a Championship striker, I think, but there's also Che Adams, and he may also be a Championship striker. He might be good enough for the top flight, but I think between them, their goals should be enough to replace Ings' goals. The defence might or might not be great. There's rumours Vestergaard might be going, but remains to be seen, of course. I think you will have a tough time at times, but I think you have more than enough to stay up. 12th, I have Wolves. Now, obviously, new manager in the summer, Nuno left. They've got Raul Jimenez back, though, and I don't think he'll be back to his best, but I think he is what they missed a lot last season. They also have lost Patricio in goal, Sarr replacing him. They've got Trincao, who seems decent. No European football to contend with. And yeah, I can't see another 7th place, but I see a solid 12th place. In 11th, I have Everton, who've obviously got a new manager. Ancelotti left, Rafa Benitez has come in. No major signings though. Just Townsend, Begovic, and Gray. I'm not really sure that they're the signings Everton need. They've obviously lost potentially another player to something that I won't get into. They might have a full season of Calvert-Lewin, which could be huge, because the problem for Everton is they've desperately missed Lukaku for a long time. I think Calvert-Lewin looks like he could be that Lukaku replacement. Maybe he will be, maybe he won't be. I'm not too sure on how Rafa will do at Everton, but I'm going with the safe 11th, because they could do alright. Maybe get 7th, but they could get sucked into the relegation battle. So I'm going middle of the park. It's a tough call. In 10th, we have Leeds United. Marcelo Bielsa has done an incredible job there, no doubt about it. And I think it's going to be more of the same this season. Not changed too much. What they had was working, so no real reason to change it. They've kept holder Jack Harrison, and they've bought Junior Firpo, or it might have been a loan, I can't remember, from Barcelona. So I just see another good season. Not quite as good, and having a slight drop at 10th, but I think more on the way from Bielsa's boys. 9th, we have my team in West Ham. Lack of transfer activity so far at the London Stadium. It's very disappointing. We've signed some youngsters, but I don't think they're getting straight into the team. Milenkovic looks to be nearly over the line, the Fiorentina defender. And Areola is a good buy-in goal. So if Fabianski does get injured, I don't think our season is going to come crashing down like it did a couple of seasons back. But we seriously lack the depth to compete in the Europa League as well, and that's why I can see a drop-off. Now, I do remember from last season we did make a lot of signings later on in the window. I think there are still some signings to come, but to stick on the safe side, I'm going a slight drop-off of 9th. We could finish in the top 6 again, but I'm not sure if we will. In 8th, I have Aston Villa. What a summer they have had. Okay, they've just recently lost Jack Grealish, but Leon Bailey, he looks very good. Buendia, proven in the Prem. Between the both of them, they're going to more than replace Grealish. They got in Ashley Young, who's good backup left back. They've got Danny Ings up front as well. I don't know if he's going to replace Watkins or be side by side with him, but he's going to add goals. And this Villa team could produce incredible things. Zabi as well, on loan from United, who should add more stability to the defence. So I don't see a repeat of what happened last season with them, where they lost one player in Grealish and things fell down. They've got numerous good players this time around. In 7th place now, and we have Arsenal, where Tavares and Sambi Lokonga are both young players. Tough to know what we're going to get from them. Ben White, he's going to be solid at the back for them. Might not be enough though, that's what I'm thinking. And Arteta, we're yet to really see that X factor from him, if you know what I mean. He's not dreadful, but he's not pretty good. He's been disappointing, it has to be said. I think they will improve this season. Can they get back into Europe? Who knows? Into the top 6, and in 6th we have a team with a new manager in Tottenham. Their signings have been very good. Romero, Galini, Gill, they're all very good players, and they might get Lautaro Martinez from Inter Milan, who, whether Kane stays or goes, is going to add goals. Of course, they're going to lose goals if Kane goes, but they'll get money, and if they get money, they can buy players. But I think this might be a bit of a transition season for Tottenham, especially with new manager in Nuno. I could be proved wrong. They might break into the top 4. I won't dismiss it, but I see a lot of quality in that top 4. I'm not sure Tottenham will have quite enough to do it. In 5th place, very bold prediction this one, but I'm having Liverpool to miss out on Champions League. Of course, they only just made it in last season because of the very late on in the last few games, they did turn it around, in fairness to them. And I haven't seen the improvement in the summer. They've got Canate in, who should help prevent a centre-back injury crisis like they had last season, but the African Cup of Nations is in January. They will lose Salah, and they will lose Mane, possibly for 4 or 5 games in the league. What's going to happen then? There's going to be Jota and Origi and maybe Harvey Elliott up front. They are going to drop points because of that. And it'll be the points that'll be the difference between them finishing maybe 3rd, maybe 2nd, to finishing 5th. There's a lot of quality in this top 4, and I'm not sure that Liverpool have the depth to compete with it. And it's not Klopp's fault, I have to say. Like, you look at Man City, they've brought in Jack Grealish, who might well be a backup winger. They have Riyad Mahrez, a Premier League winner, as a backup winger. If Foden gets injured, a new player comes in and does just as well. For Liverpool, if Van Dijk gets injured, again, that defensive stability goes. If Salah gets injured, they lose goals. If Mane gets injured, they lose goals. If Firmino gets injured, they lose the link that the front three has. And it's not good. It's not good at all. So, in 4th, and just beating Liverpool, I have Leicester, who I'm tipping to finally break the top 4, because they've just missed out the last 2 seasons. They've lost Fofana to injury for most of the season, I reckon. But they brought in new players, didn't they? I'm trying to remember who. Daka and Samare. It's already a very good team, but it's an even better team. Bertrand is going to be solid at left back, and a bargain on a free transfer. They're just going to keep doing what they did, but I think right now they now have the depth, the quality in the squad, the confidence with the FA Cup win, with the Community Shield win, to go on and crack the top 4. In 3rd place, now, in case you weren't aware, it's the 2 Manchester clubs and Chelsea that remain. So, in 3rd place, I have Man United. It's going to be a slight drop off from last season's 2nd. This isn't anything bad United have done. This is just the fact that City are miles ahead of them. No disrespect, United. And Chelsea, they're only getting better this season. Full season of Tuchel, and with the addition of Lukaku. United, they've added Jadon Sancho, who they've been after for a while, of course. So he's going to add goals and assists from the wing, and they look to have Varane, who's going to add that defensive stability that they need. And I think they have a formidable back 4 now in Shaw, Maguire, Varane and Wan-Bissaka. That back 4 is good enough to win the title, but the midfield, Fernandes, superb. Everyone else, though, not good enough, in my opinion. Pogba, inconsistent, might not even be here with his contract situation. Fred, I'm still yet to see it from him. And McTominay, he's good, but not Premier League title winning good. And yeah, that's why I have them 3rd. If they maybe went out and bought a Lorenzo Pellegrini or something, or maybe Declan Rice, maybe I would back them, but I'm not sure yet. And the top two, it's Man City and Chelsea, Champions League finalists from last season. It was a very tough call. They are both superb teams, and this might be one of the best title races we ever see. Just missing out though, I have Chelsea. They will have a full season of Tuchel, as I've already said. Should be getting Lukaku, and yeah, so he won't be the same player that he was when he was at Chelsea before. Chelsea beat Man City 3 times last season in the FA Cup, the League, and the Champions League final. So, yeah, they can definitely compete with City. It's just, there's something pulling me more to City than to Chelsea. Interesting statistic is that Chelsea have never gone more than 5 years without winning the title under Abramovich. If they don't win it this season, it will have been more than 5 years. But I'm not sure a stat like that really comes into play with the prediction. It's just, I have to pick which one I think is the best, and I'm saying Man City because it's an incredible team, and the addition of Grealish makes it so much better. Looks like Bernardo Silva's gonna leave. He'll be a miss, but they have an abundance of attacking players. It'll just be someone else's role to fill. They may still get Kane. I think if they do, they are definitely getting the title. If they don't, then I see it being a close race that City just pip. And I think it's just the fact that squad to squad, player to player, I think Man City are better. I think Chelsea will be superb defensively once again, but so will City. City just have that bit more creativity in their side, that they will win slightly more games than Chelsea do. Because I can see with Chelsea them having the odd 1 or 2 all, even if they get Lukaku, because there aren't enough world-class attacking players in their squad. Havertz, if he improves, might be that player that they need. I'm not sure if I see it. So, I might be wrong. Chelsea might win the league. I won't be surprised if they do. But yeah, for me, City are just slightly better. That is it for this video. Feel free to let me know your predictions in the comments, or insult me if you think I've made a ridiculous prediction. Maybe I've forgotten something that would be an important factor in the predictions. Because I did actually. I forgot that Nuno had left Wolves. So I initially had them a bit higher. But it's not because I don't like have anything against Bruno Lage. It's just I think Nuno is a slightly better manager than he is, and I think that will show. But anyway, that is it. As always, thank you for watching. I don't know if I'm uploading this the Wednesday, the Thursday, or the Friday, so I might have a GCSE results video already out, and if I don't, I will see you then. If I do, I will see you in my next video, which I don't know what it's going to be yet. As always, thank you for watching. Peace and love. Bye.